Am I the a-hole for telling my mom's family I don't owe her because she had gender disappointment? My mom never wanted a boy. She wanted girls. Apparently, her dream was 4 daughters, but she had me 16 male first. I have seen photos and videos of the day I was born. She cried hysterically when they told her I was a boy. Then she refused to hold me. After we were cleaned up, she cried about not using the name she had chosen and said she didn't know how to move on from it. All this was caught on camera. Eventually, my paternal grandma took me, and she was the person who told me in photos and videos taken during the rest of our hospital stay. My paternal grandma was my sole parent figure for the first 8 years of my life. She took care of me, and I spent so much time at her house. Sometimes I was there for weeks. Then she had a brain bleed and died. So I was left with a mom who wanted girls and not a boy, and a dad who wanted to be a provider and nothing more. My mom had my sister Lily 2 years after me. So mom got her girl and Lily got all her attention, while I got grandma until I was 8 and then nobody. My mom and Lily are super close and mom adores Lily. Lily got the bigger bedroom, she gets the gifts, she gets all her favorite snacks, she gets to do all the extracurricular activities she could ever want. And her birthdays are huge parties with huge gifts. Christmas she gets at minimum 25 gifts from mom alone. Mom typically gets me 1, never anything I'd like or want, but, thought that counts, which is 0. My mom's family don't act too interested in making up for my lack of parental love. And in the last couple of years, mom and I have argued more and I give her a hard time. Dad's never around to give him 1. But mom? If she wants to ignore me, then she can hear how crappy it is. And if she wants to treat my sister like a perfect angel, then she can hear about it. Mom has mentioned how I ruined her dream of 4 daughters. We were at my mom's parents' house Friday and mom gushed about Lily doing good on a project and a scooter she got Lily to help her get around easier. She got Lily a custom helmet and a personalized lock for her scooter. She couldn't stop talking about it, and I sarcastically told her she really does love to shower her favorite in gifts and praise. My mom's family told me I should take it easier on her and said I should understand we had some little troubles because of mom's gender disappointment. I told them I don't owe her anything because she had gender disappointment and that I didn't ask to be born to a mom who only wanted daughters. They told me I lacked adult understanding and compassion. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Your mom is toxic and extremely shallow. So many out there are desperate for a healthy baby, regardless of gender. She's blessed with just that and rejects it. I'm so sorry your mom is like that and for the loss of your grandmother. The good news is you're almost an adult. My advice is to focus on yourself and work hard so you can get out of there. Then you can choose when you see her and in what capacity. I really hate the concept of gender disappointment and feel it's becoming more obvious with these huge trendy gender reveals. Nobody needs to see their parents bratting because they're not what they expected. People need to grow up and realize what's important in life. I actually saw some people react just like my mom on those. Watching one of your parents get hysterical and freak out because of the sex you were born makes you feel really bad about yourself. It's how I felt anyway, and I questioned if even grandma really loved me if mom didn't. I don't know how people think it wouldn't hurt. From your post, I bet my house that your grandma did really love you. She picked up where your mom let you down, rather than stepping back like other members of your family. That's love. I want to believe it, and a part of me does. She was amazing, but it's sometimes hard to believe because she was the only person to ever love me, and she's been gone for so long. I miss her every day. Not the a-hole. Your mother needs to grow up. You are in no way responsible for mitigating her disappointment that the fantasy she created in her head long before you even existed didn't materialize. Her inability to cope with reality should have never been your problem. It is grotesque to expect a child, which you are at 16, to be understanding of a mother's immaturity. Continue to call your mom's behavior. Speak up for yourself. And go no contact with her and anyone else defending her BS as soon as it is legal and financially possible. Next story. Am I the a-hole for accusing my mom of being selfish when she forces my twin sister's dad to include me? You read that right. My twin sister, 16 female, and I, 16 male, don't have the same dad. Mom slept with 2 guys close together and had us. DNA proved this too. It's always been a weird thing, and we got a lot of questions in real life. My sister's dad was willing to do the DNA test. Mine had to be dragged to court, and he has found ways around paying for me, and he and his family never wanted to know me. So my sister grew up with a dad and I didn't. Mom didn't like it. And when we were young, 3 to 5 maybe, I apparently used to get so sad when she'd leave and go to her dad's house, and I couldn't go with her. I don't remember it, but I get why it'd be true. So Mom told me he had to include me, and he was like, nope, no way. It ended up in court with Mom wanting to take away his parenting time. The judge ended up saying he didn't have to take me for his custody time, but he had to include me in any big days out with my sister or for family holidays if she went along. He tried to get my mom to drop it, but she refused. So ever since I was about 5 or 6, he has been forced to include me in his life sometimes and the lives of his family members. None of them want me there. I know they see me as this huge burden. I hated it. If I wasn't being ignored, they were just really short with me and made it so obvious they didn't want me there. My sister was torn between me and her dad. I told her I didn't want to deny her a dad, so she never let it come between them or us. When I turned 13, I tried to put my foot down with Mom, but she told me I had to go, and she said she'd take him to court so fast if he let me wander off, and didn't make sure I was okay like he would with my sister. There's only 2 years left, but I can see how much my sister's paternal side despised having me around. It sucks being forced somewhere that nobody wants you, and my mom is still serious about taking him back to court. So I told my mom a couple of nights ago that it needs to stop, and she can't keep doing this. She told me I don't deserve to be left out because of her actions. I told her she can't make them love me, and they have shown their disdain for me for over 10 years now. I told her to let it go. She got so mad she wanted to yell and cuss at them. I told her to stop being selfish and stop forcing them to include me because she's the only one who wants that, not me. I told her I never wanted this. Mom broke down and then she told me it wasn't necessary to be cruel to her. Am I the a-hole? The only a-hole here is your mother. That is not your father. It's your sister's father. She has that family. If they got to know you through her, they might have loved you for that, despite your mother. The way your mother went about it ensured hard feelings. I'm sorry your father wasn't involved, and that you don't seem to have family on that side. This mess is off your mother's making. Anyway, not the a-hole, and neither is your sister or her father. Yep, it made me a burden to them instead of someone that they didn't hate seeing sometimes. It's not like I think they had to love and want me, but Mom made sure things will always be tense and awkward, and not friendly. All because she couldn't just make it up to me at home, instead of forcing someone else to include me when he was clear he didn't want to. I also think the judge sucked for forcing it. Not the a-hole. What a very sad situation. And I must say, you show a remarkable wisdom far beyond your years. You are, of course, right to tell your mom to just drop it. Forcing any relationship is never right. Your mom is stuck in her me role, and that is all she selfishly cares about, and is incapable of seeing the pain and hurt you have endured all these years. The only bright spot I can see is if your mother does want to take it to court, then this could be your chance to end her charade by speaking to the judge directly yourself on your wants and needs. I hope for the best to you. At 16, the judge would listen to you, and maybe this horribly wrong situation can end for you. Oh, thank you for saying that. Trying to be fair to my sister. She's my favorite person. And sometimes it feels like she's going to be the only person I have in my life at some point, because Mom might get too toxic. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter she actually has to do things to get celebrated? I have a 16-year-old daughter, Katie, and a 14-year-old Jake. Jake is more an achiever. He's involved in sports, does great in school, and recently won an award for community volunteering. We have been celebrating his achievements, usually with dinner out. Katie, on the other hand, doesn't do much. She hasn't been putting effort into anything lately. She basically just goes to school and then exists in the house. She spends her free time on her phone or watching TV, doesn't have any hobbies or interests outside of her friend group, and doesn't put much effort into schoolwork. This results in her not getting many celebration outside of her birthday. We stopped forcing her to do sports or other clubs when she hit high school. Katie came to me and said she feels like it's unfair we celebrate Jake, and I decided to have a conversation with her. I sat her down and explained that we love her just as much, but if she wants to be celebrated like Jake, she needs to put effort into something. I suggested she try finding something she's passionate about, or work harder in school, that she should make her own goals to work towards. I thought I was being honest but gentle. Katie did not take it well. She exploded, accusing me of playing favorites, and said it was unfair that Jake gets all the attention just because he's always doing things. She even lashed out at Jake, telling him that he was the golden child, and she was tired of hearing about how great he was. Jake was hurt by her outburst, and now things are awkward between them. Katie has been avoiding both me and her brother since then, staying in her room or giving us the silent treatment. My husband thinks I could have phrased it better, but I believe this was an important reality check for her. If she isn't doing anything, then there isn't anything to celebrate. Edit. For anyone claiming I never talk or be around my daughter, she literally just went apple picking with her father this weekend. I am spending almost every day teaching her how to drive. We went shopping and a spa day earlier this month. Her father is teaching how to change tires and how to work basics of the car. That's been happening every weekend for months. Me and her dad have been watching a show every Thursday with her for months. That's just this month. Not the a-hole. Makes perfect sense to me. I'm assuming y'all would celebrate her birthday, graduation, etc. Does she think people are just going to throw parties for her for no reason? She's old enough to learn that's not how the world works. Maybe get her into therapy. Sounds like she's in some sort of woe is me spiral. Maybe some outside perspective would help her get on track, or at least understand why people who work hard and achieve things get celebrated for them, while people who don't, do not. Yes, we celebrate those things. Not the a-hole, but your daughter sounds like she needs guidance and possibly therapy. I couldn't figure out what appealed to me in late middle school/early high school. I wasn't passionate about any club or activity that I was aware was offered. I couldn't find books I was passionate about despite having a love of reading. I just didn't know what I liked, and I stopped trying for a while. It would have been really hurtful to watch my younger brother find his passion so easily. Could you offer to take her to do things you think she might enjoy? You may know of things she'd like that she may not know exist. I tend to take this approach with teens. Hey teen, have you heard that there is a scuba diving camp, painting class, guitar workshop, metaphysical festival, volunteer opportunity to help puppies/kitties, haunted house, teen night at the ice rink, concert, etc.? Think about your kid's passions and invite her to experience a world beyond her phone. She may also be depressed, and touching base with a therapist could be a great idea. My 17-year-old told me that COVID also hit a certain subset of kids, those transitioning into middle and high school, really hard. They apparently all talk about it at school, and a lot of them kind of got stuck with anxiety and depression during both traumatic and formative times, along with political/climate change environments, making them feel that there's not much of a use in anything. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad, well, for that you have another daughter? I, 24 female, quickly discovered growing up that I was an affair child. I could see the way my dad's actual wife looked at me whenever I was forced to stay at my dad's. Turns out, my dad was an even bigger a-hole than it seems. Not only did a guy cheat on his wife, but on his favorite mistress as well, my mom. How we found out was even worse. When I was 9, my dad's wife couldn't take it anymore and left with her daughter, who was around my age. So my dad, as the man, tried to fully pursue my mom. My mom had declined because she fell out of love with my dad. Not even a day later, my dad announced that his new lover is 5 months pregnant. When the kid was born, I still sadly had to go to my dad's. I never liked being there because my dad would give me the belt if I didn't properly understand some school material, yelled at me when I came home with anything less than an A, and fat-shamed me for being chubby, 56 kilograms at the age of 8. Thankfully, most of the attention had been drawn away from me. During the first 3 years of my sister's life, I always had to hear comments from my dad, like how I was such a troubled child compared to my sister, etc. When my sister turned 5, I started noticing my dad's behavior around her was much more pleasant compared to the treatment I received at that age. Then, after the kid's 5th birthday, the comments about my sister being way better than I was, smarter and thinner, etc., started always coming at me. Over the years, the comments kept increasing and increasing. Safe to say that I had never felt as if my dad was my dad, and that role was always my older brother. And now, if I'm being 100% fair, I quite hate the guy. I don't regret moving for college and not informing nor speaking to my dad for the first 3 years of living away. For the autumn break, I have gathered up the money to visit my brother and my niece in my home country. I'm pretty good in what I am studying, plus I have lost a lot of weight because of the stress. So my dad now sees me worthy of being his daughter. Somehow, my dad got a whiff of that idea and called me to ask me to go with him and a few of his friends to the annual autumn marathon. To which I responded, well, for that, you have another daughter. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. It's likely he doesn't have the self-awareness to know how much he hurt you through the years. Keep your freedom and your peace. It might at least make him think a little bit if he realizes you want nothing to do with him. He likely knows, but doesn't care. Opie deserves so much better, but she'll have to find it elsewhere. Not the a-hole. Your bio father lost the right to call himself your dad a long time ago. He chose to put his other children first, treated you horridly, and did nothing to have a loving relationship with you. And now that you're in college, getting good grades, and he approves of your physical appearance, he wants to do things with you? That's a hard no. Go live your best life and go fully no contact with your sperm donor. Wait until she's making good money or is married to someone who is making good money. All of a sudden, he's going to be totally focused on her seeing him as a good dad and try to weasel money and favors out of her. Or when he's old and needs help, but family. Haha, no. What a jackass. This guy is a POS. You're worthy now that you've lost weight? I've always been chubby even into adulthood. Not sure how it is for guys, but as a female, I always hated my body and was so ashamed of it because at school I was called names. I can't imagine having it at home at school. Not the a-hole. I'm so sorry your sperm donor is such a horrible person. You deserved so much better. It's okay to cut him out completely and put your own well-being first. You don't owe him anything. Update. Am I the a-hole for turning down a Christmas dinner invitation from my mom's family? Original post. So I, 21 female, am currently in university and live on a dorm, using my own money and everything. My mom, 40 female, had me when she was 19. My dad joined the military to provide, and so he was gone most of the time. My parents split up when I was young, and my mom and I moved across the country. My mom started dating again when I was a teenager, and it was like I became invisible. When she married Gregory, 50 male, it became even different. I grew really resentful when my mom had a new baby, and I'll admit that it wasn't healthy and neither was my attitude. When the time for university came, I got a good enough scholarship and moved out. I'm honestly surprised they noticed I was even gone. I've gotten 2 texts from my mom a year, happy birthdays and happy New Year's. Only this year did I get a 3rd text, and that's just to announce I have a new baby sister. So I got an email the other day that was pretty much an invite to a Christmas dinner that they were hosting, and it seems like a lot of extended family are going to be there. I don't want to be there, so I declined the invite. Yesterday I got a phone call from my mom crying about me deciding not to come for the dinner and really wanting to see me. Then Gregory took the phone at all but called me an a-hole while scolding me. It's made me feel a little bad because she's still my mom, and I feel like I should just go for her sake. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. Not stay home. They weren't there for you when you needed them. That's literally a parent's job. Yep, not stay home. She's crying and he's mad because your absence at Christmas will raise a ton of questions about their parenting, or lack thereof, that they aren't comfortable answering because it'll make them look bad. I doubt it. The entire extended family knows. And they aren't hiding that I'm not part of the family according to my grandmother. And she's shown me Facebook photos where they've had captions like complete family to other stuff. And while my grandmother said she'd like me to reconcile, she thinks it's better for me if I don't. As much as I dislike Gregory, I do know him well enough to know that he does love my mom and hates seeing her cry. As for Mom, I'm sure she wants to see me for me, or because she feels bad, but that doesn't mean she deserves it. She didn't even invite me with a phone call or text, just an impersonal invite. I really do feel terrible for making her cry though, and do wish I hadn't done that. You didn't make her cry. She cried out of her own feelings of guilt, sadness, or whatever. You're not responsible for her feelings. Only text from your mom each year? No phone calls until now? Not stay home. You do what suits you. They've treated you like an acquaintance since she started dating and eventually married. It would be only normal for you to not wish to attend. Why waste a holiday with people who treat you that way? Your mother's husband's insults prove how he's felt all along. All the best to you. Not stay home. It is telling that you say the invitation is from my mom's family, rather than my mom or my family. Her actions made it so you don't consider yourself part of her family anymore. If your mother wants to reconnect, she needs to do the work of fixing her neglect of you when you were still a minor. And that takes more than an invitation to a family party, where they probably just want you there to play a happy family and make them look good. Having said that, think about the damage control. You say the extended family will be there. Is there anyone where you do care about them or what they think about you? What will your mother and stepfather say about you to everyone if you aren't there? Not being there lets them control what is being said about you. Is this something you can live with? If, say, you like your grandparents and they will be there, having lunch with them the week before and talking to them, letting them know what happened to you, will let you control the narrative. My grandma will be there and she knows everything. She's the only one who I visit and even care about. She's shown me the Christmas cards and Facebook photos they've posted. And it's all in such a way that it's like that's been the only family my mom's ever had, and like it haven't existed. The relatives that'll be there are always commenting positive crap to them too. And now for the first update. So my mom's Christmas party went and passed this past Friday, and I figured I'd make this post as an update. Like I thought, my mom phoned me back because my grandma made her. She asked to meet me in person, but I said I didn't feel comfortable. She said she could bring Gregory or Grandma if it would help. I said hell no to Gregory, which surprised her, but I did agree to Grandma. After no issues, we met in a coffee shop with Grandma claiming she would be a mediator. I looked at my post to see her guys' advice to, I don't know, guide me before I left. I admitted to Mom I didn't want to see her but thought this call would clear the air. I asked why barely only 2 texts a year. And she said Gregory told her that college kids didn't need their moms and would be interfering. I asked why she couldn't at least phone me to invite me, and she said Gregory told her sending an invite made me on the same level as the other relatives, and I would like being respected. That made no freaking sense to me, and I got so mad. I asked why the heck she even wanted me there when she would treat me like extended family. She told me when I was gone, and seeing how Gregory treated their kids made her realize she neglected me. She'd been going to therapy and wanted us to mend things. I pointed out listening to Gregory about me then was the dumbest possible thing she could do since he never liked me. I knew I'd start crying like a little witch, so I started ranting about how I'd rather not meet my half-siblings since I know I'd resent them. They don't deserve that. How my extended family also cast me out. How everyone blamed therapy not working on me. My mom was shocked, and even more shocked when Grandma took my side and everything. I told her I was really sorry that I made her cry and it didn't make me feel better. She forgave me on that, but told me it wasn't my fault, and she deserved it. My mom asked if I'd ever come home, and I said that Gregory would either need to apologize or die. That was a bit harsh since I don't want him to croak, so I said if he leaves forever is good too. My mom said she understood, started crying, apologized like 100 times, and asked if she could text or phone me more often. I said sure, because it still makes me feel awful to see my mom cry. Since then, Mom has texted me and called me every day but hasn't tried to force things. I did not go to the party since Gregory has not apologized. Grandma has been staying with them and things aren't too good between them. They had big fights over him refusing to say sorry and how they treated me and aren't talking. I don't want my mom's marriage to end for the sake of her other kids, but I can't lie, it feels good to not be ignored. Apparently, Mom wants to meet on Christmas or Christmas Eve, and as long as Grandma comes, I'll let her, but I don't know if we'll ever be close again. So thanks, guys. Your advice really did help, and I'm feeling better mentally. Good job sticking to your boundaries. I'm happy your mom is showing growth and realizing what was wrong, and I hope your relationship improves even if you're not super close. Also, a hell yeah to your amazing grandma for sticking by your side and acting as a mediator. I hope you have a good Christmas, and that things keep getting better for you. Merry Christmas to you too. I don't know if things will ever get better, but her at least acknowledging she was wrong means something to me even if I don't know what it is. And I really do love my grandma, and I'm happy that other people think she's great too. Yeah, I'm loving your grandma too. But honestly, the first part of this update completely pissed me off. Gregory. I was thinking, does this mom have the basic common sense to wipe her butt after a dump? Or does she get / follow Gregory's advice for that too? But she surprised me. She seems to genuinely want a relationship but is taking steps to make that happen. Best wishes, Opie. I'm glad that your mother is understanding that she did a disservice to you and agrees that she neglected you. That's showing a lot more understanding and contrition that many mothers we see on here manage. I'd encourage you to see if you can build a relationship with your mother now, one that probably won't include Gregory. If it's just painful for you, then you can cut it off. But it sounds like something more positive than that is possible. Please don't feel like you owe it to your past self to cut your mother off or keep her at arm's length, if she's a positive in your life now. I don't see myself ever being around her if Grandma isn't there too. I'm happy that she knows she was wrong, but I don't know if I can trust her enough to give her a second chance to be my mom. And as for Gregory, I think she's finally gotten the message that I hate him. It sounds like your mom is in a really abusive and controlling relationship. Those are hard to get out from under her. While I'm not excusing her behavior, maybe try to see her in that light, and that her actually reaching out to you and willing to meet you on your terms is a huge step for someone in her position. She didn't start treating me bad when she and Gregory got together. That started before, and he treated her like an angel when I lived with them. Maybe it's changed, but that's how it was. Now for the last update. So I did meet with my mom. Grandma came to us per instructions, for lunch. We didn't talk about Gregory or anything. It was just a short meeting over coffee. We just talked about school, the engineering program I'm in, guys I've dated, and stuff. I guess it was nice to talk about myself even if it was awkward. She did ask me to spend more time with Grandma, and that made Grandma smirk, which means Grandma kept her promise about never revealing we hang out. I paid for Mom as a gift, and she gave me an old baby photo of me that she got redeveloped as a gift. I thought that was nice. I let her hug me goodbye. She didn't cry this time, so I don't feel like crap. It still feels weird, and I know it will for a long time. Maybe forever. It's hard letting go of hurts, but it is what it is. Hope you guys have a good Christmas. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for destroying family Christmas? I've been with my wife for about 5 years, married too, and we have a 1-year-old son. My mom is the type of person who doesn't like change, doesn't like new people, and keeps to herself. That being said, she isn't controlling and doesn't seem to care what her kids do with their lives, but she doesn't like when she feels things are pushed on her. She is also someone who will just keep doing what she does without thinking. So when she continued to buy me lavish gifts but nothing for my wife or baby, I didn't think it was malicious. But it hurts my wife that even after marriage, my mom wasn't buying her gifts. I sat down with my mom and explained this. My mom was totally shocked and couldn't believe my wife expected a gift. I tried to explain that my wife is part of the family now, but my mom was upset and said she has 3 kids and shouldn't have to pretend my wife is her kid. She really seemed surprised, so I do think that was genuine. And she kept saying how mortified she would be if her husband expected gifts from her parents, and that she wouldn't be with such an entitled child. Finally, I told my mom to just stop. It is okay if she has a difference of opinion, but she is hurting my wife, and it needs to stop. My mom thought about it for a couple of months, talked to my sisters, who said she should just suck it up and buy gifts for our partners. And her ultimate decision was that she didn't want to host Christmas anymore. I thought she was bluffing, so I ignored it for months. I realized she was serious and said, fine, we can do it at my house. But she didn't want to come. I mailed her a small gift as a test and she mailed it back. Finally, I was like, screw it, and did Christmas with my wife's sisters and their partners. Both of my sisters were miserable the whole time, and one cried, which I thought was crazy dramatic. My mom was on vacation and had her phone off. The sister who cried finally blew up that my wife and I ruined Christmas and ruined our family, and she left early. Her and my other sister called our mom later and finally got her to answer and begged her to do a normal Christmas again. And my mom said she feels like now that we are all getting married and having kids, it shouldn't be her problem anymore, and she will think about it but is leaning towards me. Now my sisters are angry and feel that I ruined family Christmas. Not stay home. Your family sounds exhausting. Getting a present for the partners of your children isn't that strange, and frankly, it's weird that your mom hadn't considered it before. And your sister going into hysterics because your mom went on vacation and wasn't there seems ridiculous. Everyone needs to calm down. Maybe consider heading out of town with your wife next year and escaping the holiday drama. This. Also, your child's partner of 5 years/wife of 3 years and your own grandchildren aren't new people. They're family. The mother is a manipulative witch and the sisters are terribly influenced by their mom. I thought the mom sounded like she had some sort of processing disorder or was otherwise neurodivergent. This would explain a lot. I could overlook no gifts for your wife maybe, but none for your child? That's the much bigger issue. To accept lavish gifts if the baby gets nothing really bugs me. Newsflash, your mother absolutely is controlling. You just never noticed before because you were staying in line. Your sisters are still under the thumb, which is why they're reacting badly to your absolutely normal and reasonable request, and your mother's absolutely abnormal and unreasonable response. But that's their problem, not yours. Raising a kid is hard enough without trying to parents grow adults too. Stick to your guns. Either your wife and child are included in family Christmas, or family Christmas will be just you, your wife, and your child. Let the rest of them sort themselves out. Not stay home. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to host Christmas and ruining my husband's dream? So my husband, 31 male, has always loved Christmas and everything even remotely related to it, while I, 31 female, don't really care. Since my family is not Christian nor do they live in this country, we usually end up spending the holidays with his family. He has always lived in a large household and everyone there shares the same enthusiasm for Christmas he has, which always makes it fun. The problem is that now my husband said that he wants us to host Christmas at our house the next year. And I was like, okay, sure. Until he clarified he meant that I had to host it, prepare the dinner, and do all the grunt work. Now, I have no idea what goes into Christmas. My family's from a different religion, and my childhood only consists of me and my dad. So holidays have never been a huge deal for me. I don't know how to do all the stuff required. He had already told them we'd be hosting Christmas, and I got mad and said, how can you say that without even asking? So I told him clearly that it's not my responsibility to host Christmas for your family, since I really don't care one way or another. But now he's accusing me of ruining his lifelong wish, and he ended up telling his mother about it. So now my mother-in-law and sister-in-laws are blowing up my phone by saying why am I being such a Grinch. He has been sulking ever since we came back last night. I'm firm on my stance, but I'm still wondering since it's just a one-time thing if I should just suck it up. Not stay home. Why can't he do the work? What are you, his employee? Exactly. His lifelong dream is to sit back and host while his wife does all the work? Not stay home. I think it is, actually. Yep. OP, you are not stay home, and you would be justified taking a nice vacation for yourself Christmas weekend, while your husband scrambles to fulfill the promises he had no intention of fulfilling himself. But if you don't want to do that, host a potluck Christmas and spend your time coordinating what others will bring. Tell your dear husband you're on it, but you'll have to delegate work to him. Then make him clean and decorate the house while you tell which relative to bring which food. You'll still have to work supervising, but you'll make it clear to him and everyone else that someone who doesn't celebrate Christmas should not be expected to be a servant to people who do. Not stay home. I knew it. I freaking knew it. I knew the moment I read a title that you were going to be doing all the work. If he wants to host, he can freaking cook, set up the damn table, clean and all that with you. And then telling on her to mommy was also predictable. Yep, I love Christmas. My family go all out every year. It is the best. We start planning 6 months out all the games, menu, etc. But the keyword is we. Every single family member pitches in with cooking, decorating, child-minding, and the cleanup afterwards. There is no way I would do a full Christmas with no help, or only help from the women in the family. Opie's husband is way out of line by demanding this, and to then send his mother and his sister after Opie? He is absolutely an a-hole.